So I'm excited to taste for you today 3 different Koshu from 3 different producers, 2 in Yamanashi in the Katsunuma region and 1 from California. First is Ikeda Winery in Katsunuma in Yamanashi. I talk about Ikeda Winery on page 282 of my book on Japanese wine. They were founded in 1995 by Toshikazu Ikeda, who unfortunately passed away in 2023 and has been followed by his son, Hidetoshi Ikeda, who has trained in California at Ridge Vineyards, which also has a link with a famous Japanese winemaker, one of the first ever to come from Japan. This is their premium cuvee. It has extended barrel aging. All their Koshu are barrel aged to some degree. They're very affordable wines and it's a great tasting room to visit. It's located in the heart of Katsunuma on a great stretch where you can walk between several wineries from Katsunuma Jozo to Ikeda Winery, Honjo Wine and Kurambon within the space of about half a kilometer or a kilometer. Now when you arrive you'll be greeted by a gorgeous golden retriever called Waffle. Now despite the oak aging it's quite a light colour, and here I'm tasting it in the Katsunuma goblet that you can pick up at stores like Nita Shoten in Katsunuma. Quite a light colour, a little bit cloudy. Quite neutral with a very subdued Nashi Asian pear character to it, which is characteristic of traditional Koshu. Quite soft flavors, a little bit of texture from that oak with a little bit of soft minerality on the finish that you get from the Koshu grape. It's quite delicious. This is going to be a food wine for pairing with fish. That low acidity and low iron content really works with raw fish and blue cheese. That's a great example. You can pick it up locally for around about £10, $15. It's an absolute steal. Next up is Kurambon N Koshu, and this is from Kurambon Wine, which was established in 1913 by the Nozawa family and is now in the hands of the 4th generation winemaker Takehiko Nozawa. Now at the end of the 90s, Nozawa-san trained in Beaune in France and is fluent in French and English. And he has a much more delicate Burgundian approach to winemaking. It is quite fantastic. Now the Kurambon N Koshu is barrel fermented on its native yeasts. It's a very minimal intervention wine and it's the flagship of their Koshu range. Only about 1,000 bottles of this are made a year. I'm lucky enough to have a bottle from 2021 from my last visit to the cellar door. The winery itself is a gorgeous old building. It's one of the heritage wineries in the region that was once used for sericulture, housing silkworms to grow silk for the silk industry that was big in previous eras. Now this is a Kimura glass. It's quite a Japanese style goblet that you can find at wine tastings, and you'll often find wine bars serving Koshu and Japanese wines in this. It's quite cute. It's fermented and aged in old oak, which gives a bit more texture than it does any kind of aroma. It is a gorgeous, slightly buttery with that wild yeast complexity. There's a bit of bread. Almost, I want to say, that Burgundian buttered popcorn note. Very subtle. I mean, Koshu is a subtle grape. That's delicious. There's some acidity going on there. It's quite juicy. The acidity is never going to be on that Riesling level, enamel melting champagne style acidity, but it's fresh, it's lovely, rounded, complex. This is one of the nicest Koshu out there, and definitely seek this out if you have the chance. Now, I'm really excited to have this. It's a bottle of Kazumi Wines Koshu from California. There are very few producers of Koshu outside of Japan. I've tracked down 3 growers, 2 of which make a single varietal Koshu. I deal with that in the Japanese Grapes Abroad section of my book, Japanese Wine by Nick Rowan. The winery was founded by Michelle Sakazaki, who was born in California but raised in Tokyo, returning to California when she was 18. After studying fashion and a career in it, bringing her to Milan, she returned to California and worked with her father to promote Californian wines in Asia. And in 2015, she founded the winery Kazumi Wines. Kazumi is her middle name, which is quite unusual for Japanese who don't often have middle names. In 2017, there were Atlas fires that destroyed a lot of vineyards in the Napa region. And while replanting these vineyards, she discovered that UC Davis had some scions of Koshu grape that they had received from Japan, and she was able to graft these onto vines and produce America's first Koshu wine. The first was released in 2021, and I have here the 2024. So the vines are a little bit more aged, producing a bit more fruit that will be a bit more mature. I'm really excited to have this. When I first read that it was oaked, I was a little bit worried, thinking that it was going to be trying to aim for that voluptuous Californian sun-drenched character, but you can see by the color it's quite restrained. It's a little bit fragrant, quite pleasant. There's a little bit of yuzu citrus coming through. I would say it's almost more fragrant than the Katsunuma Koshu. It's juicy. It's got a kind of chalky mineral texture to it and a very gentle florality. There's almost a hint of orange blossom in there. Um, it's subtle. There's a lot going on, not in your face, just beneath the surface. Could you get any more Japanese in character? It's quite a delicious wine. This is not a typical Californian wine. It's much more restrained, much more delicate. I think that's a fantastic tribute to the Koshu grape in Japan. Well done, Kazumi Wines. This is great. Now, I have a whole section in my book where I talk about Japanese wineries, now whether that's founded by Japanese or whether the winemaker is Japanese, around the world. And one of these is Kazumi Wines in California, and I'm very excited to be able to try this wine with you today.